What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Bigfoot and common misidentification. So we're going to do common misidentifications. I'm going to be calling this video Sasquatch sighting or misidentification. So we're going to talk a little bit about this because, you know, when it comes down to Bigfoot, guys, I like Bigfoot. Bigfoot's cool. All right, it gets people out in nature. It's a cool thing to do. There's some stuff. There's thousands upon thousands of investigations and sightings that have actually occurred because of Bigfoot. All right, there's been so many sightings that it leads to investigations. Chinese governments, for example, have actually shut down entire forests so they can do full-fledged investigations in it. And America, how many times have you heard Oregon sightings or wherever it is? It's all over the place. Oh, you gotta get these investigations because there's been so many sightings over the years. You look at old Native American stuff, all right, Native American stuff, or across the country, across the world for that matter. You take a look and they all had to pick some sort of, on whether it's a trickster or whatever it is, that is literally a Sasquatch. Like you can see it in hieroglyphics, or not hieroglyphic, whatever you guys call it, whatever they call it. You know, you can see that in like their cave art and stuff like that, and on rocks and stuff like that. You actually see it clear as day, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it on it. Now, there are a couple theories regarding what this could be. So one theory is it could be a Gigantopithecus, all right, or I believe that's how you say it properly, which was actually a known species of gigantic ape that actually walked across the landscape long ass time ago. That is one theory. Another theory is that it could be interdimensional travelers. Another theory is it's just an animal that is like the leading reigning champion of hide and seek. And it's out there, and it only comes out at night. Sometimes say that, but I think it's funny because they all say it always comes out at night, but most of the sightings actually take place during the day. And they will always say that it's all out there. Now, this right here, like I said, I'm in northern Connecticut. All right, I am in northern Connecticut. We don't have a whole lot of Sasquatch sightings out here. But at the same time, there's a lot of woods out here. There's a lot of woods out there. It was a few years back, I remember exactly, in the area, general area where I hike within a 10-mile radius of the area that I hike. Basically, there has been a moose sighting, a moose in Connecticut, and no one even realized that moose is there. People think moose, they think Maine. All right, they don't think Connecticut because it's too far south when it comes to New England to actually be around. But they have been out there, so there's a lot of species that can be out here that we don't even realize that's out here, that we didn't think that could be out here. So there's a lot of possibilities. On the second note, there's also a very big possibility that they are misidentifying something that they see. Now, one of the very common stories that I've heard is they hunk around in shadow, the Sasquatch, they hunk around in the shadows behind trees and stuff like that, and they're peeking, they're trying to see you before you see them. Another theory that I've heard is they've actually been caught on all fours, roaming around on all fours, trying to haunch themselves down, their butt's a little bit high in the air because they're just too big, too massive, so they're doing the best they can to haunch down to kind of sneak around and stuff like that, and people have claimed seeing sightings like that. Now, another claiming is eye shine that is so high, there's no way anything possibly could be that high, so it has to be a Bigfoot. So I'm going to show you a quick video right here, and this could be it. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying this could be a possibility. So yes, are there a possibility of Bigfoot? Yeah, there's a possibility of Bigfoot, but there's a lot higher chance you're going to come across a bear. And out here we see a lot of black bears. Even this time of year, we figured they'd be hibernating. They're still out and about. In the last 2 days, we've actually seen 5 bears, and that's at my kid's bus stop. So here's a video of what could possibly be a Sasquatch on all fours, sneaking around with his haunch up, and I had to zoom in on the camera. It wasn't a very long video, because I had enough time to pull out my camera and zoom in, and it gets very pixelated when you zoom in. So someone looking at it who's hardcore, diehard Bigfoot can automatically either say that's a Bigfoot, or they can actually look at the truth and see what it is, which is a black bear. So here's that video right here.
Yeah, we thought they were in hibernation.
Now, whenever there's Bigfoot stories, there's always bear stories. All right, whenever there's Bigfoot stories, there's bear stories. Out here, we also have brown bears. All right, it's a dark brown bear. It's not a grizzly bear. It's just a brown bear. It's slightly bigger than the black bears that we have out here. And when you see them in the distance, it's really hard to make them out. It's hard to decide to see what they are, especially when you have, I mean, if you look at the leaf color on the ground, if you're kind of a browner animal, you almost kind of blend in a little bit, whereas even the black actually disappears pretty well over there. So that's another possibility. They see stuff in the distance and they don't get a good focus on it. They just catch it in their lens and they can't zoom it in. It gets pixelated, and it could possibly be a large bear, for example. bears do get up on their hind legs, and I've seen them get such big bears, they literally about 7 to 8 feet tall when they stand up on their hind legs grabbing food, especially around this time of year. Now, most of the sightings here in Connecticut actually happens around this time of year. And there aren't that many out here, but when it's this time of year. Now, this time of year, you got to keep in mind, the bears are getting ready to go to sleep. All right, they're getting ready to go to sleep, so they're roaming all over the place looking for extra food. So like this video right here is, my wife actually caught this the other day at my kid's bus stop. So this is a very common sighting that we'll have here in Connecticut. So here it is. Now, if you notice at the very end of the video, when she pans around to the other side of the car, you see a shadowy figure in the woods, and from a distance, the way how the camera angles it, looks like it's a pretty big figure in the woods. That could also be a quick sight of what they think could be a Bigfoot. In truth, it is a black bear. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying Bigfoot doesn't exist. I'm saying I haven't seen any physical proof myself. Now, I just haven't seen any physical proof, and I want to learn. I want to get out there and do it myself. I'm gonna be doing some hikes here in an area that we actually saw the moose, in the area that they caught a moose, where stuff disappeared. Now, on a plus side, you know, when it comes to it, this is a big plus side when it comes to it. One theory that people say is Bigfoot are so massive, all right? They are so massive that how can no one hear them when they're walking through the woods? Now, I hike a lot. I love hiking. It's like my thing to do. It's my downtime. Either I'm shooting or I'm hiking. I love my hiking. And now I've come across bears multiple times in the woods, 2 direct contact with bears. Well, not direct as in, you know, fighting distance, but you catch my drift. 2 direct contacts with bears. No, it's in there watching TV. On the trail that I take, there's just one spot that just creeps me the hell out every single time I go down there. This just creeps me out every single time I go down there. Now, when I go hiking a lot. I'm no stranger to the woods. I've been hiking a long time. I hike all the time. I camp. I'm an outdoorsman. I fish. I haven't been able to fish this last year because of work, but I fish all the time and I hike, and I'm no stranger to the woods. I'm no stranger to the woods. After 2 tours in Iraq as a Marine Corps rifleman, I don't get scared by a lot, but every time I go down this area, it's very creepy. Now, this channel isn't all about Bigfoot, so I'm going to actually take a EMF detector down there once I get it coming in, and I'm actually do a little bit of investigation, look for anything else that could be weird, because unfortunately, there's a lot of bad things that happens in these woods out here, and all woods in general. But I get creeped out in this area now, and I always tell my kids, if you're in this area, talk out loud, do stuff like that, because there's animals around to go out. I've been down this area, I smell dead animals. You smell death clear as day. You can smell death clear as day. So there's either some sort of den or something like that down there. But I was down in this area and I came across the bear. All right, I came across the bear. Now, I could not hear the damn thing. I mean, it was a big bear. It was not a little bear. I'm talking maybe a 300+ pound bear. It was a big old black bear. It didn't have any tags on it. And usually out here they're tagged. There's a few bears in the state of Connecticut they cannot tag because they're too big. And either this was a bear from another area or this was just that. It was one that was one of the big ones that they haven't been able to tag yet. So I come across this bear, and it's just dead quiet. I had no clue it was in the woods. I saw a little bit of a shadow in the distance, and I took a look. Before you know it, about 15 yards away, there's a big old black bear just literally staring at me, and it scared the shit out of me. It absolutely scared the shit out of me. They are quiet. They are very quiet. How can a big animal a size that big make no noise, and especially if you have like a leafy background like this with sticks and stuff like that? How can that happen? And a lot of people say that. How can they do that? How can they make that noise? You know, I'm going to give that a thumbs up. There's a big possibility that if Bigfoot is real, if someone gets definitive proof on it, that they might be able to do the same thing the bears do. I don't know how they do it, but they I don't know if it's their pads or what it is, but they're very, very quiet when they're walking around, to the point where they'll sneak up on you. I mean, how many hunting videos you've seen people in a hunting stand, and I don't know where a black bear comes up and starts climbing up the tree stand with them and hanging out with them type of deal. Right, so they're very quiet animals, so the Sasquatch could be the same thing. Now, another big misconception that people have, or another big misidentification, is eye shine. All right, eye shine is a massive, massive misidentification. Now, there's a lot of different types of eye shines when it comes to animals. Basically, eye shine, if you don't know what it is, most people know what it is. Shine a light, the eye shine back at you. Now, there's some people that'll say this eye shine is so high, there's no possible way whatsoever it was anything other than Bigfoot, because it's just too high off the ground. Now, and they usually have the cameras a little bit grainy, or like the one that you'll see me doing a video on right here.
I hear motorcycles in the background, dogs, and the thumping. It's not a thunderstorm because it's literally probably about, probably see my breath here. I'm gonna say it's probably in mid 30s right now, maybe about 37-ish.
It's dark. I didn't have night vision set. I just had my camera. I was taking my dog out, and I heard some weird noises. Heard some weird noises in the sky, and we do get some weird bangs and stuff like out there. So I figured, you know, I'm out, take my dog out, see if I can, you know, or catch something on my camera. Maybe it's noises, whatever it is. And I didn't realize it at that time until I brought it back. But I got some massive, what looks like eye shine that's pretty damn high in the air on the area. Now, some people will say, oh, that right there proves that it's Bigfoot. But if you know this area like I know this area, and I was actually down over in that area where it gets a little bit thicker over there, we are in a hill and it overlooks the town. And right now, with all the trees off, every single night you go out there, you can see through the trees, you can see the bright lights, and it looks like it's high, like eye shine, but in truth, it's just the lights that actually go down to the actual town. Now, there's one video that I saw. This is a Finding Bigfoot. It's kind of funny. It's an interesting show. As they're out there, and there's like, oh, they see these massive eyes, like this far apart and so high, and it's looking at that. And you notice the one thing that not a single one of them brought up in that entire video is the area that they were looking at that they claimed that it had to be. They even said clear as day. They're like, nothing other than Bigfoot can make something like that. Nothing other than Bigfoot can have eye shine that high and that big. If you actually look at the area that they're looking down, the person to the video, you notice it looks downhill, and in the far distance there is a riverbed and whatever that's down there, and you can tell campers go down there. So if you are down that far and you're on an angle, the way how you're looking at it, when you're on an angle and you're looking at trees, if it's that far away, those eyes, that looks like eye shine, if there's two lights, whether it's vehicles or someone's out there camping or something like that, spread far apart, that was literally like 12 feet, like 12, 15 feet as they're saying high. What that tells me is you are actually looking down and you're seeing the lights of actually what's going on down at the campsites below, which are people down there. But because of the angle of it, it makes it look really high in trees. Now, I'm not saying Bigfoot isn't real. I want to believe. I want real proof. I want real proof. But the facts is that if you ignore the facts and you ignore what it possibly could be, you will never come to an actual answer or to a conclusion of whether or not Bigfoot is real or not. What that means is if you're out hunting for Bigfoot, or you're out in a campsite or out in the woods, whatever it is, and you see something, oh my God, that could be Bigfoot, or you really want to see Bigfoot so bad that you believe anything that you hear, you can't ignore the facts. You cannot ignore the facts, because if you ignore the facts, then you are going to do yourself a disservice and the world a disservice by reporting on false facts, right? So don't ignore the facts. Actually take a look and go back during the daylight, whatever it is, and try to take a look and try to figure it out yourself. Because more than likely, there's going to be a logical reason of what you saw, a logical explanation of what you saw. There may not be. There may not be. Maybe you'll get some real evidence, footprints, whatever it is. But there might honestly be a logical reason of what you saw, and it might not be Bigfoot. It might not be Bigfoot. Anyway, I'm going to end this video with a couple photos of the bears that have been showing up at my bus stop. So here's some footprints. It's kind of cool. So a mama and 3 cubs. So a mama, 3 cubs, and a big boy, big male. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about me, guys. Peace.